Basketball I'm back. It's the Daily Trainer once again, ready to give you what you need, guaranteed to succeed in the game that you love to play each and every day, as I try to figure out the best way to get you to be a better basketball player. And that's what we're doing here, working on that downhill dribble, right? You're going to hear a lot of people talk about getting downhill. And that is what we're doing with my man Dev and Cole. I gave you a little break with Saj and Sai, and now we got Dev and Cole. We're working again. And guess what we're working? Those handles and those reads. Mainly one thing that you got to remember is there's other bodies on the court. So when you're working out, and Dev does this sometimes. He doesn't do it when he plays because he's more locked into the game. But you have to work those eyes, right? Those eyes have to be up. Not just to see what you need to see on the floor, but you can almost do a move with your eyes and misconcept the defense based on how you're looking in a certain area without even really doing a move. You can just step a certain way and look that way and fool somebody. So the game is that simple, but again, like I've said before, we do make it difficult. Now, what exactly are they doing here? They're doing all kinds of moves, but basically what this rhythm is that they're working on is in whatever rhythm, in whatever dribble, what is the end result of my pound and my pickup? Now, there's so many different variables and variations of how we can do a pound and pickup. I could just have them stationary dribbling without even doing all this moving. But what are you really doing in the game? You're moving. And they're awkwardly moving too. It's not like they're moving with the consistent rhythm of a crossover every single time. They're shuffling, they're shifting, they're going back, they're going forward. But at the end, I told them, I want you to focus on the pickup. So I don't care about all the other stuff, right? The oohs, the ahs, the moves, the spins, all that's great. But if you don't make the shot, then wow, we really wasted a lot of time. And so that is what I'm looking for in this particular drill is, are you in rhythm and is the pound and the pickup efficient when you're getting ready to get in the flow of your shot? And they did a very good job in this drill. As you can see, there were some struggles at different times on the pickup at the three. Mid-range, they had that one down pretty good. There were some misses, obviously you're going to miss, but the three-pointer kind of gave them a little trouble just because there's a delay each time, depending on if you're shifting it from the left, if you're pulling back and you have to reshuffle your feet. There's all these different, again, variables and variations, and that's why I wanted them to shoot that. And you can see some success from the three after they figure it out. And that's really the goal is to figure out your game. Everybody doesn't move the same. Everybody doesn't like the same move. So with that, how do you make it to where you can be successful for you, right? The biggest thing we're talking about is you. And we always get this thing of like how we're working towards being better than somebody else, or you have to compete with the person on your team and you have to be the best player in the country, the county, the state, the city, whatever your goal is. And all of that's great. But if you're not working hard, if you're only doing it sometimes, if you're not consistent and you don't believe you can be, or you're not taking shots that you're working on, then you are beating yourself. And if you can't overcome the battle with yourself, trying to compete against somebody else, it's not going to work. So, something for you to think about as we continue to talk about this workout. Who would have thought? I'm a motivational speaker. You felt that right there when I was talking to you. Yeah. And yeah, the camera's moving on the film. Yeah, that's me moving the camera. I just want to get the right angle just so you can see it. Again, these guys are starting to get the hang of the drill. We had to go on the other side of the floor. There was another session of sports going on the other side. So just, getting these guys reps on both sides of the floor, because interesting enough, if you look at percentages, sometimes people shoot better on one side of the floor than the other. So to not work both sides would be kind of crazy, because you have to figure out what side are you better on. Now, a couple things you'll see here as they are pulling up off of that right hand going over the screen, there's a balance issue where you'll see a little bit of a fade with Cole. I mean, obviously he still makes the shot half the time, but again, be aware of that fade and understand if you're under control on that, or is it happening because your balance is off. When you understand either one, it makes you a better shooter based on you understanding you. Again, it's what I've been talking about all episode. A couple moves that are great here. I really do like the quick stop, that pull behind the back, because it gets it back to your left hand. It's a delay for the defender that's kind of helping under or in the drop coverage, whatever you want to call it. And it gives you time to get a clear look at the basket. Also, with that pullback, it allows you to go back the other way, especially if there's like a rescreen situation there. You got an opportunity to go right over it. Now, somebody like a Dame Lillard will go downhill right off of it too and add a step back to it, which is crazy. But that dude is just a very good basketball player, and he's a scorer. He's a killer. Yeah, that's right. He is, for sure. But again, using the moves that these guys are showing you would be great. We always are looking for the next thing to be creative in our game, especially if we feel really basic or we feel sheltered in a way of like, you can't do this, you can't do that. And when you go to practice, you have a certain mindset and you're locked in a certain box with a coach. And, when you leave and you go play somewhere else, you feel like you can play freely. And these moves are something you can steal and work on when you do get to go play freely. Now, I've never seen a coach, if you do it one time and you're successful at it, like a behind the back move or something fancy, they'll take you out. Now, if you continue to do it and you don't have success in scoring or making a play and you're just dribbling around, then absolutely they're going to take that opportunity away from you to do it again. But just keep in mind, like with coaches and your work, they don't get to see you practice these things. So when you're practicing, do make it seem like you're playing in a game so that you have more success when you're trying to show your coach that you've been working. Coaches only want to see results. They don't want to have any excuses told to them. And I'm sure they don't want to make any excuses for you of why you're not having success on the floor. Again, something to keep in mind. And then, we wrap up this drill with some shooting, of course. As like I said, Dev wanted to get better at shooting. Cole does it really well. So no way better than to shoot with somebody who shoots the ball well, to challenge you. As you see them making a lot of shots and then you're not making them. He started picking it up a little bit as the drill went on, and he was talking to himself and saying, picking himself up, which, self-talk is great talk, especially if you find yourself missing 2 or 3 shots in a row. And that's one thing Dev does really well. He gives himself self-talk. Then once he gets 2 or 3, he gets to smiling and he gets to talking a little trash, even though nobody's there. And, I think it's more of a game mindset for him. So that's perfect for him, and it's a great mindset to have. Again, pay attention to how these guys are shooting, how they're making them, how they're missing them, how they're loading into their shot. What's their rhythm like? Can you see their release? Or is it too far away? Those different things. And, this will make you a better basketball player, analyzing other basketball players. And that's why I do it every day. Thank you, Basketball Youth, for coming through. Channel has grown so much, and I can't thank you guys enough. Remember, someone's always working. Are you?